Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever made a mistake in your life? Of course we all have, and that was kind of a trick question because the issue really here isn't about making mistakes because we know that that's how we grow, that's how we learn. But have you made mistakes that are haunting you still? Have you got things from your past mistakes that are really holding you back and mentally and physically from ruining really the best part of your life? Well, I want to talk to you about that today because I think there are some things that you can do to put these past mistakes in the past and to move forward in a positive way. I know it's not easy because there are certain times of the year when these things just come up and they anniversaries, milestones, and you dwell on them and you think, my gosh, I shouldn't have got involved with that person. I really wish that I had done more to get financially secure and save money instead of spending it. I really wish that I hadn't, made that mistake in choosing, that place to live or that job to take. It turned out to be a real disaster. You can actually only get that, that realization and that understanding when the dots are all connected and you see it from the future. At the time, you were doing the best that you could, but now when you look back, of course, you see it as a mistake. I love that quote by Steve Jobs. I think it was that you really don't know how your life has unfolded, how everything is connected until you look at it from the end and you see all the dots suddenly connecting. That's why you made that choice. That's why you made that decision. And this is what you learned from it. And it can be really hard sometimes because, we are children of the 60s and the 70s. We are, we were raised in a time where there was experimentation, where there were lots of things that you could do for the first time. And maybe some of those were mistakes in the sense that they hurt you or they put you on a path that made your life maybe more difficult than it needed to be. Maybe you got involved with a person that turned out later to have an alcohol problem. This is such a common theme with a lot of the women in our 60 and Me community, because a lot of us, well, I didn't, but a lot of women got married right out of high school. They were 18, 17 years old and they got married right away. That was, that was what you did back then in those days. And you had children right away. Though you're 24 years old and you have 2 or 3 children, that can be considered a mistake later, but you didn't know at the time because you were just trying new things. I mean, you might have done drugs or you got involved in things that yourself that you regret, that you didn't really mean to do or you didn't think later was a good idea. Smoking or any kind of habit that you established when you were younger just may not have been the right choice. But those mistakes, we don't have to reinforce it. They were things that you did that you learned from. You learned from mistakes. Now, Rebecca Olkowski is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this article on 7 actions that you can take to put those past mistakes in the past and stop them from ruining this really cool and important time of your life. These are things that you can do. Seven tips, because either we are resigned to it and we say, oh, we made these mistakes and it screwed up our life forever, or we just figure out, how did that work? What did we learn from that? I know that I've got lots as well, so maybe we can share this together and kind of just try to figure it out. But Rebecca's article is a really good one and you might want to check it out later yourself. But here's 7 things that she says you can do. First of all, recognize that you had free will. We have free will. That's why we are human. That's why we have this freedom to make choices. And yeah, bad relationship, a financial situation, health, whatever has happened, you have a chance to turn your life around. We have free will to change our life. We may have fallen into a decision that led to what we consider a mistake, but we also can turn it around. And there's no expiration date on that. You can do it now. So just know that you've got free will to, eliminate the toxic people in your life if they're still there. If you feel like your marriage and your relationship is just not working, let it go. And it's never, ever too late to change. You have free will. The second thing that she mentions, which I think is kind of a cool thing, we've talked about it in previous videos, and that is decide what you want to do with your life. Once you decided that, this is my passion for the future, the past kind of moves into a place it should go. I'm going to have a cough in a minute. I'm going to continue though. Things like that can happen. I should have had a glass of water nearby. But anyway, if you want to travel, travel. This is the thing. Don't let it stop you. Don't let things that that you regret not doing because of a mistake you might have made, like getting married early or having children young. Just move forward. Travel. If you want a happy relationship, then find one. And you have to go out to do these things. You can't sit in your house and think about it. You have to activate your will. Once you've done that, you have to map out the steps. This is number 3. You have to put out the steps that you're going to take to make this come to be. And it's the book, The Secret, she mentions, is where if you have an intention and you put it out to the universe, or to whoever, the deity or God that you follow, that, somehow these things will happen. It's like the vision board mentality. Like you create this vision board of the future, you show the steps that you're going to have to take, and then you are supported in your journey. Now, of course, it's, maybe it's not as simple as the universe, you're taking care of it for you. You have to actually do it. But having that plan, saying it out loud, writing it down is really, really important. And, mapping out the steps is put something into motion, and it's your motion, in my opinion. It's your motion that keeps things going towards your goal. So as I said, if you want to make new friends, you want to have a new relationship, you have to go online and go on a dating site, or you have to go to places where you love to go and try to find someone that's doing the things that you enjoy doing. And that's the kind of the mapping it out. Next thing, though, I think is super, super important, and that we don't do this enough, and that is, if you need help, get it. Go and get help. Don't struggle. Don't suffer with, a regret or a memory that is so painful, or you're so caught up in it that you can't see out of it, that you can't do these things. You can't move forward with free will, or you can't map out a roadmap. If you really are struggling, go and get some help. Maybe it is a friend, someone that you trust, that you can talk to. This is a big deal, actually, though, that finding people that you can trust. If you haven't got those friendships in your life, you might need to go to a counselor, a mentor, a therapist. Just go ahead and do it. If you think it's going to be helpful, don't be embarrassed. This is what they do for their life, and they have ways of pulling the things out of you and helping you. And I could share some of my own personal things, but they're just, it's just when I went to a therapist once because I was having difficulty with my divorce. And when she was able to get me to talk about what happened, I was actually then able to say, was that all? Like, that was it? And everything else was okay? Yes. And it was like, it freed me up. And I don't, maybe it's the same for you, but do that. Get help. Focus on your health. This is so important too. One of the things we tend to do when we live in the past and we live swimming in regrets and worrying about mistakes, we overeat, we don't exercise, we don't get medical checkups, we don't be proactive. Sometimes we don't feel that we're worth it. What's the point? I made this big mistake. I did this horrible thing. I'm just not good, any good. And you don't take care of your health. That's how, you go down that slippery road of social isolation, feeling lonely, feeling depressed. But do something about your health. Even if you just walk and get out and do exercise, do Pilates. Our yoga videos are all free on the YouTube. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, we have a new shop on 60andMe. It's called 60andmeshop.com. And we have our DVDs as a set there. And the actual DVDs, you can buy those. Or you can look at them free online if you don't mind the online experience. But I wanted to mention that because it's something that we just opened before Christmas. And the big seller right now is our inspirational cards. This is our Aging Beautifully cards. There's 46 cards. Women are loving these. They're so helpful. And the whole site is actually geared around inspirational products. Scarves, necklaces, beautiful jewelry, and these lovely cards. Anyway, I digress. But no, the point here is that, if you have that sort of sense of, just connection and good taking care of yourself, it really makes a difference. And sometimes that can, be the thing that turns you around. Another thing that Rebecca talks about is believing in a higher power. I talked earlier about the universe, and that's such a nebulous thing. But if you have a God, a spiritual focus in your life, that honestly can make all the difference. Because, you know, you're forgiven. You're forgiven for the things that you've done. It is part of the structure of your faith. But if you don't have that, then you're going to have to find your own, you know, your own spiritual point, the place that you go that is outside of, more powerful, bigger than you, and let that be, you know, the thing that calms you and soothes you if it's a really difficult thing you're trying to overcome. And of course, the last thing is to just absolve yourself of past mistakes. Just say it was done. You know, you did it. Yes, it was a mistake. You shouldn't have done it. You regret doing it. It's hurt someone. It hurt you. But honestly, you have to, in my opinion, and trust me, I'm on this journey with you. I've got as many things on my mind as you do. Let it go. Just try to let it go. So how often do you think that you're a victim of your past mistakes? Are you ready to let them go? Have any of these things that we've mentioned, any of these 7 actions that you can take to get rid of a past mistake helped you? I really hope so. Leave your comments in the section below. Tell us, you know, what do you do to get over the things in the past that you consider a mistake, if any regrets? What kinds of things do you do? How do you free yourself from that? So thanks again for being here, everybody. Check out our store, 60andmeshop.com, and also our website, 60andme.com. And thank you for being here on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. We really appreciate it. And there is a bell somewhere that you can ring the bell. And that basically tells you when new videos are released. It's a really cool feature of YouTube. So just find the bell and ding it, click it, please. It's super helpful. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.